Good evening, everybody. It's Susie Q96, and it's time for Sweepin' the Dirt, where we talk about the strange things that Mother Earth allows us to have privy to by way of our metal detectors. Uh, this is going to be kind of an interesting show. Yeah, sorry, my hair's a mess. I'm a mess. You're just gonna have to deal with it. The girl's a mess today. I was late for my show this morning. Uh, it's just the way things go sometimes when you have all these doctoring things happening. But we'll meddle with metal. Yeah, we'll meddle our way through the metal detecting show. Ooh, that was a good one. Ah, good afternoon, Stan CT and Archaeology Mikey 007, and Miss Southern Belle is in the house. I so wish she had been here the other day. I purchased a t-shirt in the Susan Komen cancer auction, and it was a shirt that Miss Southern Belle had tie-dyed, and I did wear it on my show. It's I actually bought it for somebody else, but then when I realized that the size would fit me, they didn't get it because it's my colors. It's orange and turquoise, and so it never left the Susie house. I've been wearing that shirt. It's very cool, and I like it very much. You're in North Carolina. Well, then you already passed me. Heading down to Florida. I'm hoping to be heading to Florida soon. I've got the Nightbot fired up, so I need everybody to make their comments so that they will have an opportunity to win a spot in the April 12th big giveaway on the channel. I've got all kinds of things I'm giving away, and if I hit 8,000 subscribers by then, which isn't impossible, I'm going to add something else. But right now, we have in here a lovely Centec digital scale that was donated by Archaeology Mikey. This is really good for both coin collectors and detectorists. You don't want to be getting ripped off on your goods. Then we got this pretty lady right here, and she's gonna, well, poo. Come on, Sue. There you go. Anyway, she's in on the giveaway. We did a little article on my morning show the other day. I'm doing a little morning show with newspaper clippings, and we did a story about war pennies, which we tend to call steel pennies. However, back in those days, that is not what they called them. They actually called them white pennies. And so, of course, we're going to have a white penny in there. Then we have some Nocta Macro detection technology patches. I also have hats to go with that, and a couple of other Nocta Macro prizes. And there's some other things that have not been added to the list yet. The more people who qualify, the more generous I'm going to be getting. And right now, I actually sat down and entered everybody's names into an Excel spreadsheet so I wouldn't lose track of how many entries. And right now, we have 41 people entered who will have an opportunity to win the big prize. And the only way you can get entered is to show up in one of my shows and we have been playing cat or dog. And if you get your correct critter, you get an entry. You may have more than one entry. Some of these guys got several because they show up every day. And so we're going to do a science experience. McHammer, the way it works is you keep piling up the entries, and then on April the 12th is when we have the big drawing. Everyone who got entries throughout all of the cats and dogs games will be entered on April 12th, which is when we give away the big prize. Now, if they didn't bother to come to my show and they didn't play cats and dogs and they didn't support Susie Q, and they can't get entered. But you have been here, you have won a couple of entries already. So on April the 12th, everyone who has come in and played cats and dogs and gotten a qualification spot will have all their names put on the wheel, and somebody is going to go home with the big package full of goodies. So mark that down on your calendar, April 12th, 5 p.m. Eastern. That is my normal time for the Lodo coin collecting show. So, yeah, McHammer is our newbie, and we explain everything. And it's good. We were all newbies. I'm still a newbie. I go into channels sometimes, and they're doing stuff, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, I have not a clue what you guys are talking about. Could you explain this, please? There are no, dumb questions. Sometimes you just don't know how the games work or the coin is or whatever. So, that's how it is. We're going to do an experiment tonight. It may blow up in my face. I have seen this done on several other metal detecting channels, and people have different names for it. Some of them call it the ugly box or the dunk tank. What we're going to do, let me get the other camera on. I don't use the second camera very often, but for this purpose, I will, because I need to explain what all these things I'm doing are. I could blow my living room up. Who knows? I have made a makeshift table over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to clean an article. A lot of people frown on cleaning coins, and if I thought I had a good coin, I certainly wouldn't be putting it through this. But this is something I found metal detecting. I don't think it's a coin because it has a couple of nodule looking things. I'm sorry, I'm doing bad with the camera, but it has a couple of nodule looking things on the back. I have no idea what it is. And so we are going to create a poor man's electrolysis machine, and we're going to see if we can clean that item off and figure out what it is. So, to do this, we have a set of wires with alligator clips. We have our positive and our negative. The black is the negative. For a ground, I just have this little tool stuck on here that I actually found metal detecting. And the other end of that is going to attach to a 9-volt battery. And then the red one end will attach to the battery and the other end is going to attach to whatever the heck this is I found. So, first I'm going to create this dangerous mixture. I have found two different formulas, but all of them pretty much involved the same things in different. This is just water, little H2O, a little H2O in there, because we're going to let this cook while we do the rest of the show. That's why I'm doing this now. A drop of Dawn, not a plug for them, just, I guess any dishwashing detergent would do, but the formula I read, they used Dawn, so that's what I'm going with. Then I was given two different options. One was vinegar, the other baking soda. So I think for the first attempt, we are going to try just adding the baking soda. And then if that doesn't work, we might pour some vinegar in and see if we can make one of those elementary school volcanoes. So let's put that in there. I don't have a stir stick, but I do have a broken pen, so we'll use that to get everything all mixicated up here. And now we've got our two wires. This, of course, is our ground with the little piece of metal on the end. It's actually a tool. And then the other end of that is going to clip onto our 9-volt battery, which I just shot that across the room. These are not the best clips. I should never buy anything on Wish. Wish means wish you hadn't bought something there. But, all right, let's see if I can get that clipped on there. Now I'm going to clip my positive to my, what did I do with my horrible destructed object that I wanted to clean? Kind of defeats the purpose if I can't find the thing I wanted to clean. Oh dear. Oh, there it is. I dropped it down here on the floor. So now we are going to connect this horrible looking thing that we don't know what for sure is. I hope it's not a battery and I don't blow myself up. It could happen. There would be no more Susie Smart, that's for sure. So we're going to clip that on there, like that. We're going to clip the other end of the red onto our 9-volt battery. One of the reasons I'm using a 9-volt is it's pretty weak, and I don't think I'm going to blow myself up with it. So, oops. Yeah, these are not the best clips. You got to make sure your clips aren't touching. And now we're just going to dunk this bad boy in the tank, making sure it is not touching our ground wire. And I already see a little bit of bubbling action happening. So we're going to leave that there for a few minutes and see if it does anything to clean that item up so I can tell what it is. Yeah, those are, yeah, weird science. Don't put that in your mouth. I know, yeah. You might need a moon pie and an RC cola for this one. Susie goes electro boom. Film at 11. Oh my goodness. But we're going to see if anything happens. And move on to something else and leave that there. This is just, these are just bags of stuff I have found detecting. I'm going to put me back on the camera for right now. We will go back and check on that in about 10-15 minutes and see if anything has transpired at all. These bags that were sitting there, I usually keep plastic bags in my car and a marker so that I end up, when I come home, with something that looks like this that tells, where I found the stuff. And but I kind of didn't have one yesterday, so because I hadn't planned on detecting. So, and then here, this is how I separated two parks. This was the first stop. This was the mask I had on at the second one. I figured I wasn't going to be using that again, so I have a whole box of bags like this that actually are supposed to be part of videos that I have never gotten around to making, but I will. If it starts smoking, don't be alarmed. You better run, M3. I don't know if you want to hang out for this experiment. I am seeing little bubbles and the water is turning brown. So hopefully we'll be able to figure out what that object is. So if you have not watched my morning show yet, I was tardy this morning. Susie Smart was late for school, so I wasn't very prepared. But what the morning show is, I look up historical news articles about coins and currency and metal detecting. You better leave it alone, bud. I'm telling you. Go. Shoo. Get gone. This is not for you. Excuse me while I remove a cat. Go. Go play with your nanner. Good boy. Yeah, I have a brush. I have my Calico relic brush. It's plastic on one side, thin wire on the other, and it also has a little plastic pick on the end that I got from Calico. That's the sound of cats and dogs. So if you have not posted in the stream, post now. I'm going to pick a couple of more qualifiers to get entered into our big contest on April the 12th. And you need to have posted. No, my toothbrush, probably not. Hi, Belle. Yeah, M3, he's just nosy today. There's something new in the room and it smells funny, and so he's gotta be scoping it out. So anyway, I'm gonna pull a couple people here real quick. I'm gonna read the list of names. If your name is not on here, you need to get something posted in the stream. So far on the list, I have Archaeology Mikey, Charles, Delbrat, McHammer Plus Art, Miss Southern Belle, and Walter Winner and Warner X. And so when I hit this button, you're not actually winning anything except a chance to win anything. But we will let you choose cat or dog. If you get the correct one, you are added to the list of those who qualify to win the big prize package on April the 12th. So our first person who will get a chance to qualify is Charles. Cat or dog, Charles? Cat or dog? I will also tell you a couple of other things about this contest. If you get a joker, you automatically get 2 entries, and it does not matter if the joker matches the the creature you picked or not. If you get a joker, you get 2 entries. We got some people that have showed up every day. They've got 5, 6, 7 entries. Charles has got 3 or 4 entries. So Charles, you want a cat or a dog today? Yeah, I was going to go to the store today and look for other critters. I got to the store and I could not get a handicap cart, and that store's too big for me to walk. So my sister got to do her shopping, but I didn't get to do mine. So I'm going to go probably after this stream. Maybe it'll have slowed down a little bit. Just waiting for Charles to tell me if he wants a cat or a dog. Charles left. Well, that's no good. That's no good. Should we just go ahead and draw one out for him? He was here. And that's the whole thing with this contest. I just want it to be people that actually show up in the show. And so Charles was here. So I'm going to pull one out. Y'all pick. Should I pick cat or dog for Charles? What do you think? Or should we just put him on the list and say, woof, meow? I hope I don't spill this box. Okay. 2 people said cat. 3 people said cat. 1 person said dog. So we'll just see what we get for Charles. And he got a cat. And 3 people said cat. So we're going to put him down on the list. And that's a miss. Like I said, you can, as many times as you show up in any of my live streams, you have an opportunity to win the prizes. And like I said, there is a silver round. There's some good stuff. I don't. All right, let's do one more, and then we're going to read a newspaper clipping that's going to start some discussion, and then we're going to check the boiling pot and see if we've blown anything up yet. Okay, let's see here. Jack Goldman got here just in time to pick, and he says cat already. He's way ahead of the game. He knew he was going to get picked. He's already said cat. Is that your final answer, Jack? Cat or dog? And why am I on top chat when I'm supposed to be on live chat? Get me out of there. Okay, Jack Goldman, cat or dog? Cat or dog? Cat or dog? I also need to get a better container. I've tried a couple, and I don't like this one either. So I'm just waiting for Jack to pick a critter. And we will see what he gets. Yeah, Jack just lives one state over from me. He's in North Carolina. I'm in Virginia. Okay, Jack says it's the cat man doo-doo. Do-do-do-do-do. We get a cat. Boy, we did, and we got a very handsome young cat. So that gets Jack another entry into the contest. Right now I'm just writing them down on a piece of paper, but then afterwards I am entering them in an Excel sheet so I can keep track of who has how many entries. All right. Well, we're in here. We might as well do one more, and then I will set them aside, and we'll check on our science project. I hope I don't blow something up. I don't think there's enough power in anything that I put in there to actually blow anything up. Del Brett Are you still in the house? Cat or dog, Del Brett? And I also have the arbitrary right to put anybody in that I feel like. Del Brett says cat. All right, let's see what we got here for Del Brett. Del Brett, da da da, one kitty man for Del Brett. So Del Brett is in. Another entry for Del Brett. Now, like I was starting to say, I also have the option of putting anybody I want to in just because they showed up in the stream. And so I'm going to use my arbitrary right now. And I am going to put in the lady who made my favorite tie-dye shirt, and that is Miss Southern Belle. She does not have an entry yet, so she does now. Now, that doesn't mean she can't win another entry later, but most of the people that are in here already have at least one entry, and she did not. So I have added Miss Southern Belle to the list of people. What was so funny, this morning we added Big Country, and right after we added Big Country, I drew Big Country's name. So he got in twice, but that's fine. Poor Big Country. He had a bad morning. Normally, he says he clears his desk off at the end of the night after he does his show. But last night he was tired, and so he did not do so. So this morning, he gets up and he opens himself a Coca-Cola, and he sits it on his desk with all the other junk from last night, and accidentally picked up a stale beer from last night and took a big old swig out of it while he was in the live stream with us. So it wasn't pretty, and we felt sorry for him. So we gave him a slot in the contest because, yeah, that was it. Ew. And as he put it, at least he had not used it as an ashtray. Oh, but I felt so bad for him. Okay, let me see. We're going to flip over here to the other camera for a minute, see if anything is exploding or smoking. I have this pen that I am using. It doesn't work. I'm just using it as a probe. This may get a little strange because I'm going to try to move it a little closer to the camera. You can see, well, I may have to move the camera actually too, so this camera work may stink. As you can see, things have bubbled up in there. There's a lot of sudsy. The water is turning a little bit brown. I'm still attached to everything. I'm going to sit the camera down and pull this out and see what it looks like. See if we can see any detail on it at all. I didn't bring my brush over here, which I should have. Well, it looks like it's starting to break up a little bit. This thing was heavily covered in red clay and who knows what else. I'm starting to see a little more detail in it. I need to probably put it back in for a while. And yeah, these clips are terrible. I used to have soldering iron and all that stuff, and I would always solder my own alligator clips because the ones you get from the stores now are useless. I'm going to stick this back in, but I can see that the The water is changing color, but I'm going to add the other ingredient that I saw on this. And I don't have my measurements proper or anything. The battery is getting a little bit warm. I'm going to add some vinegar. And I knew that was going to happen because we created what we used to do back in elementary school, which was make the volcano out of vinegar and baking soda. So now I have put some vinegar in with the other items, and we're going to let them sit a little bit longer. I will be right back. I think I brought my bag in. I might not have, in which case my brush is in the car. But I have a toothbrush, not my toothbrush. I have a crappy toothbrush that I use for cleaning metal detecting fines. So we will bring this one over here. Never has this one touched my mouth. All right. So, see, I'm just doing this from some videos that I watched. Some were better than others. And we will just have to see how it works. Ideally, the one that I saw that I would most be interested in building used one of those large square ever-ready flashlight batteries, the big ones that go in the lanterns. Zaxby's Chicken Fast Food. I don't know where you are, but Zaxby's is okay. All right. So we got that cooking. I'm going to come back over on my camera. We'll leave that cooking a little bit longer now that we have added the vinegar and see if it works at all. Like I said, we're just, this is like elementary school science. I probably should have done this on Susie Smart in the morning, but since it pertained to metal detecting, I thought, let's give it a go tonight. So, ran into some interesting things when I was researching for my morning show. And that is that there are multiple claims as to who actually invented the metal detector. Many articles I have found attribute it to Alexander Graham Bell. And so I'm going to go over here to this Calico metal detecting article. And, oh yeah, they do have Cobb salad, Southern Belle. I miss Zaxby's. I don't see Zaxby's where I'm at now. And there's a lot of places I don't see that I liked in Georgia. Anyway, I'm going to go over here to this article on the Calico Detector site first, and then I'm going to take you to some newspaper articles that I found that seem to dispute this information. So we're going to start out with the information on Calico that has the history of metal detectors. And according to them, the first metal detector in recorded history was created on July 2nd, 1881 in Washington, D.C., when a gentleman, and my French is terrible, Charles J. Gautier, shot President James Garfield in the back as he was leaving on holiday. Now, the bullet didn't kill President Garfield, but the doctors couldn't find where it was. I mean, this is 1881. They could not find this bullet, and they needed to get it out of him because it lodged in his system and causing him great suffering. And according to the article, during his convalescence, Garfield was visited by Alexander Graham Bell, who invented the metal detector specifically to help locate the bullet. Unfortunately for President Garfield, the metal detector was unable to locate the bullet because the springs on the bed made it impossible for the device to give a good reading. Now, this is that version. Then there is the version that says Gerhard Fischer, who was the future founder of Fischer Metal Detectors, was working on navigational systems right after World War I and discovered radio beams emitting from those systems became distorted when there was metal ore in the area. And further says Fischer discovered that this kink in the system had a practical effect. Oh, I meant to put this article up so y'all could see it. I'm a dummy. Let me get this thing up here. Sometimes I have a slow day, and this has really been one of them. Yeah, this has not been one of my better, but we get it done anyway. I try not to be boring, but I also try to provide material that is based on fact and is educational. Because he was the cat, Garfield. There's Zaxby's in a lot of southern states. I've seen them in Florida and Georgia. There's a lot of them in Georgia. I did see one in North Carolina. I'm not sure. I think maybe Tennessee also has them. I like their wings because I have a hard time with wings because a lot of times they're greasy, and that's something that my system won't handle. So I'm always happy when I can find their wings. Anyway, so back to who they're given credit to for creating a metal detector. So then they started saying Gerhard Fischer, Fischer Metal Detectors. It says Fischer discovered that the kink in the system had a practical effect that could be used on smaller scale as a metal detector. Fischer was granted a patent for his portable metal detector in 1925 and then made his first metal detector available for purchase in 1931. So that's a pretty good story. And then you go further, and it says, although Alexander Graham Bell created the metal detector and Fischer was issued the original patent, many more were responsible for the future development of the device. Unable to find a detector that did everything he wanted to, Charles Garrett began work on his own device in the mid-60s. This is 1960s. His persistence in crafting the perfect metal detector led to the elimination of the oscillator drift and the creation of revolutionary search coils that are still used today. So this is all coming from the Calico site. But then I'm over here in the historical newspapers, and I ran across some completely different information. that makes me question some of what I'm reading. So I'm going to scroll down here. Some of these I have featured already on my morning show. One of the other people who was credited, and this is back in 1942. Now, this person's information dates back 20 years, which would have been 1922. And this gentleman's name was George Osmond Mayer, who passed away in April of 1942. And his information, I want to get him up on the screen because this is completely different than what I just read from the Calico articles. So I want to also give this gentleman credit. It says, metal detector inventor dies in Baton Rouge. April 6, 1942. George Osmond Mayer, age 57, who 20 years ago invented what he called the ground radio, a metal detecting device, died here early today. With the machine, Mayer discovered various treasures hidden in this vicinity during the Civil War and in the days of Spanish domination. I got to find the other half. I had to split this one the way it was cut. So we're talking about a guy that was doing this in 1920, and that kind of predates some of these other people that they have been giving credit to. Let me find the second half of his article. The device has also been used by fortune hunters in foreign lands. So here's a guy, he wasn't mentioned at all in any of that history, but I have read several articles about him, and there is no question that he was working with metal detecting in the 1920s. The nearest to official recognition he ever received was in the removal of the remaining caskets in the old American cemetery on the east side of what is now the Capitol grounds, and this was in Louisiana. The caskets, most of which were placed there by the Spanish in the 18th century, were located through Mayer's machine and reburied in a concrete vault beneath the Capitol grounds. Funeral services will be held this afternoon. So this kind of brings up the question, you know, when was Fisher working with it? Because it says post-World War I. This guy was working with it World War I era, but his name is not mentioned at all. And clearly his device was used, according to documentation, for treasure hunting. So that really reopens the question, who really did develop the metal detector? Now, I've got a whole couple of different ones that are interesting. Where is the one? I found one that was from the 1920s, I believe. 1910, where the original purpose was not at all finding bullets in people's bodies, although I have found stories about that. There was one that I found very interesting, an early machine that was developed to find metal which was hidden in lumber, in trees, and that sort of thing, where somebody had tacked a sign up on the tree, and then the tree was cut down for lumber, and they're running the lumber through the lumber mill, and they hit this metal and it messes up their blades. So very early on, that was another use for metal detecting. Was here it is right here, I think. This is from 1940. They were using this device. A device has been, make sure I got it on the screen. A device has been devised, which finds spikes, nails, and other metal objects buried in logs. The detector looks like a small portable radio set to which a 6-foot wire carrying an exploring coil is attached. Now that sounds a whole lot like a modern metal detector right there. When the exploring coil gets anywhere near a piece of metal, it sets up a howl. Moving the coil around makes the machine howl louder or softer, and of course locates the piece of metal. Now, why am I sharing this with you? I have an upstairs neighbor. His name is Mike Wyndham. He's known for doing, in his younger days, absolutely incredible work with wood. And he actually owns a machine just as described that was made by white metal detecting for the purpose of finding metal hidden inside wood. So I have actually gotten to see one of those machines. I'm going to see if he will let me bring it down here one day and put it on the show. It's an interesting device. Let me see who came in while I was reading all the educational stuff. I know I saw a couple new names in here. I saw Mark Thomas. Now. Let's stay out of the politics. We all know Mark. He invented the internet. He did not invent the metal detector. Anyway, and he's related to me distantly. I found out when I was doing genealogy. And I wrote him a letter, and he responded. I was kind of happy about that. Yeah, I've got some other things that are going in the article about the military uses of things that on that landmine research. Good evening, Miss Canadian Scrum. Wonder if my experiment has exploded yet. It doesn't look like it's exploded. In fact, it doesn't really look like it's done much of anything. But we're going to flip back over to that camera real quick and take a look and see if it looks like anything at all is happening with that device. Like I said, I could have the total, too much water, too much whatever. I just decided to do this thing at the very last moment. So I will probably play with it some more. I had that particular item that I could not figure out what in the world that thing is. And So I figured it would be a good thing to play with. The water is a little browner. I think I had too much water is my issue. I still can't tell what that item is, but I'm going to take it off and see if I can hit it with this brush a little bit over here in the light. I don't have much light in this room. But I knew it was not a coin, so I was not at all worried about the possibility of destroying a coin in this experiment. And whatever is on here, it is on here very, very thick. I really need the wire brush, which is unfortunately out in my car. But it is, the stuff is coming off. Obviously, this battery is very, very weak, and so not the ideal thing. So I will probably end up leaving this overnight in the tank and letting everybody see what it turns out to be. But I really have no clue. I mean, this thing is just corroded to the max. And the corrosion is slowly breaking off of it. I'm going to have to, like I said, go back and do a much more precise measurement on how much of what goes in and so forth. But it is slowly coming off. So I'm sure you could build a device like this that would actually work, but Susie did not do well in science. Science and math were not my strong suit. Yeah, 2 parts baking soda, 1 part sea salt. Yeah, I don't have any sea salt in this one. This came from a different recipe from a video. I do have sea salt here. I just don't have any in the thing. My container's not big enough to hold a gallon. But no, I have sea salt here. I use sea salt regularly. Now, let's just for the fun of it, you will see this stuff later cleaned up in a bag. I mean, in a video. This is just stuff I threw in the bag yesterday after I stopped to metal detect. I detected 2 different parts, and so that's why it's in 2 different piles. This was the first one, and I got a piece of wire, and I got a crusty nail, and I got a piece of aluminum, and I got a bobby pin. I hate bobby pins. And I got a little star that says BFF, and it has a little rhinestone in it. It's just bling bling. It's not anything real. And then I think it's a dime. Let me put it under the scope and see what I actually got here. I stopped on my way home from the doctor yesterday. I had 2 places I wanted to stop. The first one is a place I recently discovered. Yep, it's a dime. It's a 2007 dime. I wonder what happens if I just throw this 2007 dime in the tank. It's in there. I just threw it in. Just threw it in. So this was at the second park. And the only reason I was up there was it's the ballpark and it's been closed for a long time and the gates were open. So I ran up there real quick. But I had to leave. I didn't have much time up there. And then when I went back by this morning, the gates were closed again. So I don't know when I'll get back in there. Now, this came from my other park down by my doctor's office. And this is a lovely assortment. This is the reality of metal detecting. You watch all these fancy shows, you know, and they show you the, oh, they found the Connecticut copper and they found the barbers and they found gold jewelry. And while I do know that those things are out there and you do find them, that is the exception to the rule. That is not what happens on a normal daily hunt unless you are such a big celebrity that you can get those kind of permissions on a day-to-day basis. What I'm going to show you now is what you normally get on a day-to-day basis. And I'm not knocking it. I'm one of those people. I don't get upset if I find clad. You know, if I find quarters and nickels and pennies, I am not at all upset because that's what bought my metal detector. I just kept throwing that money. I had a really crappy metal detector. I just kept throwing that money in a jar until I had enough to buy a better one. So yesterday I got a quarter. And then I got another quarter. And then I got this big blob that I think is just some aluminum foil. I don't know, but it's really hard. And then my nemesis, I must have hundreds of eraser heads. I don't know why. I guess it's, you know, Susie Smart. Hey, Fleabag. So I got an eraser head. Then I have my assortment of different types of pull tabs. This one is kind of bent and twisted, but this is what's known as a Beaver Tail. And it's an older model. And I don't mind finding those because that means there's old stuff on the ground. These I mind. I don't like finding this kind because they were designed to stay attached to the can and people pull them off the cans and throw them on the ground. There's half a beaver tail. There's a random piece of can slaw. There's a pretty well intact beaver tail. You can tell this stuff has not been cleaned. This is straight out of my bag. Then I got a nickel. When I pulled this out, it was really green. So I really don't know the date on this one yet. But it's pretty crusty. And dug that up. Let's see if I can see a date. 1953, I believe. So this tells me there are older coins on that property. I also, on another day, found some 60s pennies there. So by finding these 50s, I know that there could well be silver coins there. There's a zinc penny. There's a surface fine dime. There's a something penny. I think 76. And a 82D. So those are the reality items that you find. You don't, I mean, I love watching people like Nugget Noggin and the Hoover Boys, but to me it's not real, because I do go out detecting and I know what I find, and I don't find that. Not every day like they do. And I kind of hate that new detectorists see that stuff and they think, oh boy, I'm going to go out and I'm going to get rich and I'm going to find all this. That's not the way it works. Have I found items like that? Well, yes, I have. I have found gold rings. I have found silver, but it's not an everyday, it's not the everyday norm of how metal detecting works. I wish it were. Um, Even the guys who go out on the beach, they don't find gold rings and chains and stuff every day. If you find somebody that's showing you that they are finding that stuff every day, they're probably fibbing. They may be planting their stuff for the purpose of uh, making a good video. My metal detecting videos sometimes are really exciting because I find something great, and other times they're just finding stuff like that. Who let Doctor Who out of the TARDIS? I got to tell you something funny about the TARDIS, actually. I live in a little bitty town in Virginia, and when I say little, less than 7,000 people. And there's a house down near our local park that has an absolutely perfect replica of the TARDIS in its front yard. Um, uh, but anyway, that's the kind of stuff I find on a day to day. Sometimes I find things that are much more exciting than that. Other days, not so much. The day I found 2 gold rings, yeah, that was one of those days that make you just jump up and down, and but it doesn't happen every day. And I have people that say, and my sister is one, they bought a metal detector, which they ended up giving me theirs to get me started, because they weren't finding what they thought they should be finding. It no longer was exciting because they thought they were going to find, all this gold and silver, and they live on an old farm, so I understand why they would be persuaded to believe that would be what they would find. But truth be told, the biggest thing we have found so far on that farm, I found, which was a 1943 S war nickel. I mean, I don't want to discourage people from detecting. It's a great hobby, but I don't want to mislead people either. I don't want them to think that every time they're going to go out, they're going to find a barber quarter or something. And it makes me crazy because I'll be watching these guys, and they'll dig something up and they'll go, "Oh, it's just another barber." And I'm like, "Okay, Jack, thanks for coming. We always enjoy having you here with us." They go, "Oh, it's just another barber," or "No, it's just a weedy," and I'm like, 90% of the detectors out there would be thrilled if they found a Barber or a Wheatie or a Merc. You know, I've never found a Mercury dime. I would be out doing the freaking happy dance if I found a Mercury dime. I did find a 1954 silver Canadian dime in the middle of a playground in South Georgia, which I thought was an odd place for it. But yeah, I took my sister the other day. She doesn't quite have the concept. There's a car buried on her farm, an entire car. And she wanted to metal detect around the car, and I had to explain to her, that's not how you're going to find things around that car, because the car is just one giant metal signal. The car project is going to have to be kind of like a bottle excavation, where we go out there and we dig around the car, because I believe that where that car is buried was a trash dump on that farm. And there's probably a lot of cool things, but it's not things we're going to find with a detector. I think it's things we are going to have to use, you know, digging tools and just pull the things out of there. But there is some stuff on that farm that I will be detecting here very soon. All right, Miss Southern Belle, thank you so much. I'm going to go pretty soon, too. I'm going to grab us off a couple more eligible contestants to win the April 12th contest. So if you are in here and you have not posted, please do so that the Nightbot will pick you up. And we're going to give you a chance to pick cat or dog. And if you get the correct critter, we will get you signed up for the April 12th contest, where we're giving away a Syntec digital scale, a nice little silver round, and some other goodies. And if y'all can get me to 800 subscribers by then, I'm going to add another silver round. Awesome. Yeah, I am actually going to go try to find some more animals today. I tried to go shopping. I could not get an Amiga card, and I can't, the big stores, I can't walk. I run out of go. Okay, so I'm going to hit the button, and whoever's name comes up gets to pick cat or dog from my box of critters here. And we'll see if we can get some more people signed up. Hey, Mikey, did you find Zaxby's? So, anyway, I'm going to hit the Nightbot button, and we are going to let Del Brett pick a cat or a dog. Like I said, you can have many entries in this contest, because what you got to do to enter is show up. And if you don't show up in my channel, you got no chance of winning. So I'm not giving stuff away to people that are hit and run. I'm giving prizes to people that support my channel. Del Brett says he wants Le Kitty to qualify him for the contest, and he got Le Kitty. So we will put Del Brett down for another entry. And I'm going to do a couple more. And then I'm going to go do the shopping I didn't get done today. What happened? This is a small town, and apparently everybody on Social Security in this small town got their stimulus check today. So Walmart looked like a riot. One of the girls told me that they had 20 of the writing carts and over 400 people in the store. So my chance of getting one of those carts was nada. So my sister got to do her shopping and I did not. So I'm thinking maybe now that it's a little later, I can get in there and get me some food and pick up a couple things. But I did get my stimulus check, which means my stinking ex, who was trying so hard with this divorce thing to get me put out on the street, has failed because I can pay all my bills. Mark Thomas. Mark Thomas, kitty or doggy, cat or dog, for an entry into the April 12th prize package. Mark Thomas needs to pick cat or dog, and if he gets the right, he says meow. All right, let's see if there is a meow in here. Da-da-da! Meow. Mark Thomas goes on the list. Well, the divorce thing was a long time coming. We've been separated for years, but I have been paying. He lives in an assisted living because he has some issues that will never be resolved. And I was paying part of my pension so that he could have a private room. And he decided one day that he was going to move in with a lady that lives there. So I am no longer going to be part of supporting that. And I told him I was not going to support that. So he filed for divorce. And I wish I had done it years ago. I was trying to be nice because I did not want to see a disabled veteran out on the street. And had I known he was going to jack me the way he did, I probably would have divorced him a long time ago and married the person that I should have been married to in the first place, who sadly has now passed away. But my estranged husband is being pushed by his girlfriend to do all this. This is not him. Yeah, so I'm trying not to be bitter about it, but got to pay the bills. And he quit sending my $300 out of our pension, quit sending the money. Can you pick a werewolf? Well, you could pick one, but I don't think there's one in that box. So anyway, because the stimulus check came, I'm going to be able to pay off 2 or 3 bills, which will get my monthly expenses down to where I can cover them with my own check. And so I'm very grateful to have that show up today. I got forced into a position where I had to put a bunch of stuff on a credit card because he quit sending my money. And it's going to be a long and ugly thing, dragged out through the Florida court system. And whatever happens, happens. But I will not go quietly. I guess that's I think that was an Eagles song, I Will Not Go Quietly. And then there was the Tom Petty, I Won't Back Down. So not this week, but probably next week. I do have another channel. Actually, I have 2 other channels. But I have one where I sell jewelry that I design and make. So in a couple weeks, I'm going to have a jewelry sale, and I will post on this channel so that you can go and sign up on my other channel and maybe pick out some things that your family members might like. Last year I did a big Christmas in July thing, and that was pretty good. I do have some people in the coin community who will vouch for the quality of my products. So if any of you know Sir Benji, I think half of his family is walking around in Oh Susie Q jewelry. uh, he is one of my staunch supporters, and anyway, that's one way I'm gonna be supporting my income, and the other is that I am a retired professional genealogist. So if you need help with family tree goodies, I am a researcher with many years experience, and my prices are very reasonable. So I'm just going to have to back my train up and earn money the way I used to before all of this happened. So there we go. This is a video on my other jewelry channel. I'm just going to throw one up there real quick. So anybody that wants to go over to that channel can take a look. And I'm going to go early tonight. I will let you guys know. Well, we should probably take one more look at the experiment and see if it's blown up. And then I'm going to go try to do some shopping because I did not get to get my groceries today, which means I haven't had my din. And a little cat o' mine is he's gonna want some food here shortly too. So we're not going to do a real long show tonight, but I think we've done some interesting things on the show. We haven't blown the laboratory up yet. Oh, and I have to tell you, yesterday my luck changed. I have not my luck hasn't been the best. But yesterday, two things happened that were just totally awesome. And I want to thank the coin community for both of them. One is that Big T and Mama T on their coin channel, every month they have a birthday giveaway. And so yesterday was the March birthday giveaway, and I won a $50 credit for any of their auctions or any of the activities on their channel. So I won $50 on their channel yesterday, and somebody had to come and tell me because I was almost asleep, and I got this text that says, "Hey, I think you just won a prize." So I went over there and found out, boy, did I win a prize. I won $50 worth of credit to buy silver or currency or whatever. And then if that wasn't enough, there's another channel I watch called Can Collectibles. And it's part coins and part old movie collectibles. And I really enjoy the channel because I'm a musician of sorts. And on every stream, Can picks up his resonator, which it's kind of like a steel guitar. If you saw it, you'd understand what a resonator was. But he plays music. on his channel, and I love it. It has inspired me to break my guitars out and try to play some more. And so Can was over in another channel. He was over in Spray Can's channel, and they were having a treasure hunt. And Can bought me a $15 spot in the treasure hunt. And I ended up winning a $20 bill with a serial number that has 5 consecutive 8s in it. So yesterday I ended up winning a $50 credit in a channel and a $20 bill with some collectability. Yeah, it does look a little like beer, doesn't it? I'm not drinking it though now. Not tasting that. I think I'm just going to let this sit overnight and see, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to read the instructions. Who was it back here? Somebody gave me the formula. I think it was Mark. Yeah, Mark Thomas. I will go back. My water has a drop of Dawn, baking soda, and vinegar. So that's what I put in my water this time. I found several different formulas online, so I thought, well, I will try different ones. I don't use iodized salt at all, not even for my personal, because my thyroid doctor recommended that I not do that. So I only use sea salt. So next time I will change my formula and try this formula. Of course, I'm going to have to cut it down because I'm not making that big of a tank. But I'm going to just keep experimenting with it because I do have, yes, Coca-Cola does still clean metal, and I'll tell you something else that does too. And this is crazy. But I would only use it on something that was total junk. But I found not too long ago an old metal lid for a Copenhagen chewing tobacco can. Now they're made out of plastic, but this was one of the old metal ones, and it was highly corroded. And I did this totally by accident. It was not a planned item to clean with. But I threw this thing in a bag in the front seat of my car that had an open ketchup packet in it. Well, ketchup is very acidic, and it cleaned that thing up pretty darn good. As good as it was going to clean up, but I did not intend to clean it with ketchup. It just kind of happened that way. What am I using for my anode? My sacrificial piece is actually a part of a tool, but it is, yeah, let me see if I can get it on the camera. It's one of those whoops, this camera's not set up for this. There's my sacrificial god. I'm not sure that that's the best. I also have a nail over here I was going to try. I misplaced the nail now. But yeah, this was one of the things that was recommended. So in one of the videos. I'm trying the things from several different videos. So this is actually cleaning up better than the item I'm trying to clean, which is pretty funny. But we're just playing. I have a lot of odd pieces that I have found detecting that truly I just don't know what they are. And they're not anything that I feel strongly that I am going to ruin if I play with them with this game. So, and then maybe I can figure out what they are. Yeah, that is not stainless steel, so I know that for sure. So, and I am actually right under our apartments have we don't have regular air conditioning. We have what are called LG smart inverters. And I am actually right under, I have this going right on the inverter. So it's recycling that air around it. Yeah, I'd like to find some carbon steel or something to play with, but this was just a spur of the moment. I was watching those videos today while I wasn't really napping. I had to lie down. My back was bothering me, and so I wanted to watch something different. And so this was a thrown together in a very spur of the moment sort of thing. Like I said, there were some that were very sophisticated, and I will no doubt go back and watch some more of them. I just wanted to find out today if it would clean up that round thing that I have no idea what is. Uh, I still have no idea what it is, but I'm going to play with it some more simply because I have so much stuff that I have detected that I would like to be able to identify enough to put it in some sort of a shadow box with like items. I've been doing some art with my finds. I've got a couple. I've actually sold one art piece that was strictly made with nails, all sorts of nails that I found. I've got another one about half finished that is using the pop tops. And I've got another one I'm working on with soda pop can, yeah, soda bottle lids. They are pretty rustic, and we have a lot of old timey places around here, so that I'm kind of marketing my art to that. I'm trying to come up with ways to make money because I don't think I can live on $811 a month. So all of my talents that I have set aside for whatever reason are now having to come back out. And if I can figure out a way to recycle, upcycle some of this stuff that I'm finding and turn it into financial profit, that's going to be dandy. My sister, as of yesterday, got the job of running the artisan and farmers market in a nearby town. So I will be setting up a booth there and selling jewelry and art. Just doing whatever I got to do. But the metal detecting thing, that's when my channel started, with metal detecting. And while I was a coin collector, the focus of my channel was originally metal detecting, and then COVID decided, no, we're not going to let you go out and play. So I'm still trying to merge the two in a way that is interesting to everybody. And I know some people are not at all interested in the metal detecting part, and other people could care less about the coinage, except that they can spend it. But I'm just muddling away here, and any of your comments and suggestions are greatly appreciated. In fact, I have a little problem right now I'm going to throw out to you guys, and y'all can think about it. And if you come up with a suggestion for me, that's great. What am I zapping? That's a good question, Mud Swat. If I knew what I was zapping, I wouldn't have to zap it. It's a round doohickey doodah day that I found metal detecting. It's not a coin. And I knew it was not a coin because I could see on the back. I'm actually going to bring it over and put it under the scope. Take it off of the Zap-O-Matic here for a minute and put it under the scope. Now that we've got some of the crud off of it. Mikey finally found his Zaxby's. Yay, Mikey. Been driving around North Carolina for 2 hours looking for Zaxby's. All right. Anyway, I found this, and it was like twice this size, covered with clay and dirt, and it is starting to break up now, but I knew because of these two dots right here that it was probably not a coin. So I figured this would be a good experiment for an ugly tank. So that's what I'm zapping. And just playing with different formulas and so forth. So that's what I'm zapping today. Yeah, it could take a while, but it's all right. I'm not in any hurry. I just did it. I wanted to do something fun on the metal detecting show. So I did also zap a dime, which I knew was clad. I just wanted to see what date it was because it was cruddy. But yeah, we're just playing, and I'm gonna pursue it more professionally at a later time. Little Susie Smart had a bad day. She was tardy for school this morning, which meant that the morning show that should have gone on at 7 went on about 8:30, and I was totally ill prepared. I didn't have my homework. I tried to get off on M38 my homework, but nobody was buying into that. And then I had a couple medical appointments today, and I just was all day not exactly prepared. I tried to go shopping, and I couldn't get a riding cart. So I was trying to do something a little different for the metal detecting channel. And when I was resting this afternoon, I watched several of these videos. Mark Thomas has since given me many good hints. So the next one will probably be much more professional. Oh, and then yesterday I splurged, and I got a box of nickels, and I had told the lady at the bank that I needed circulated nickels. Well, only about 5 rolls of the box were circulated. Everything else in there was 2020p. So I've got the last 3 or 4 rolls of nickels that look like they might have circulating coins in them. And I'm going to go through them, and then I'm going to roll the rest back up, and it's going back to the bank tomorrow because it's useless to me. So, yeah, Susie just didn't have a good day at school at all. Some days you do, some days you don't. I am going to look at some of these 2020Ps and see if I can find some that are not all scratched up and put them aside. You know, put them in flips for later. But see, all of them have some scratches on them. I haven't really found a really good one yet. This roll, I think, is like 99% 2020Ps. I found one in there that wasn't. But it was just disappointing. Here's a 2018. Because I had hoped to do a nickel box hunt, and there's just not much here to hunt. So, and later tonight I will probably go through these, and there's a 64. That's a keeper. But I just roll them up and take them back, and that's all you can do. I am happy. I can, when I take them back, I don't think I'm going to get nickels. I think I'm going to get penny boxes instead. I really like doing pennies anyway, so. And the chances of getting a little more instant gratification, I guess, is the, you know, I found some stuff in penny rolls last night that was okay. And there's another 64. But most of these rolls are all just 2020s. And so I was a little disappointed. But I will, I'll just take them back. It's not a big deal. And I don't get too upset about that kind of stuff. There was somebody, I don't remember who, that was on one of the channels and got really upset because his wife had, and I guess under the circumstances I might have been too. I guess his wife drove like 40, 50 miles or something to get this box, and they were all like 2018s or something. And I guess, ooh, found a Lewis and Clark. So I guess if I drove that far, I would probably be upset, but it's only a couple miles to my bank, so what the heck. And then I got the strangest box of pennies. It's part bankroll, part customer roll, and part specific customer roll. This one customer put his initials on his rolls, and as I started opening them, I found that they pretty much are all like by decade. I'm hoping maybe I'll find one that's newer than 80s, but you know, like I found a roll that was almost all 80s, and then I found a roll that was almost all 90s. It would be nice if whoever TLC is would give me some TLC and give me some older pennies. But the other customer rolled, I have just done one roll of them, and I got a 55 Wheatie, and I got a 53 Wheatie, and I got a 70S, and I got a 74S, all out of the same roll. So I have hope for those, but I don't think I have too much hope for this TLC guy. I think he knows his coins and has pretty well picked them. And I'm going to open one more. Yeah, and a lot of his look like they are, like, not necessarily metal detected, but they look like they've been, like, in his coffee cup or something. Yeah, so I haven't been too happy. Most of his have been 80s, but the other customer rolls I'm pretty pleased with. Yeah, see this, I think almost all of these, the TLC guy rolled up, whoever he is, are all 80s, and zinc 80s at that. So it's going to be an interesting penny box. I got it to do a penny hunt with, and then the person got mad at me and didn't want to do the penny hunt with me anymore. So we just go through them. But yeah, see, these are all, I'm pretty sure, I'll set the 82 aside and weigh it, but I am pretty sure that everything marked TLC on the rolls are all 1980s and have been pretty well picked through. But I'm happy with those 4 that I pulled out of the other roll, so we will pursue. I think I'm just going to pursue the pennies. I'd like to get a quarter box, but that's kind of out of my budget. Although I might, since I got my stimulus check, treat myself to a quarter box. The only thing I hate about doing it is then I gotta roll them all back up. But I might do it anyway. And then I have a big, actually 2 jars of 2020 metal detected coins. We're going to have a little contest with those. I got to count them all up, and then we're going to have a little contest, see who can guess the closest without going over to how many coins I detected last year that actually made it into the jar. And I say that because some of them got spent when I would be like low on money and running out of gas. But I tried to keep a record of how much I spent out of it, so we'll have a rough idea of what I found. And whoever gets the closest on that, we will have a nice little prize for them. Yep, see, they're all 80s. So it's almost pointless to open the TLC rolls unless I want to go through them all for varieties and errors, which I don't know that I have that much energy. All right, well, I think now that I'm at the end of this roll of nasty pennies, I am going to sign off. I'm going to run over to the store, grab me some food, and I will be on in the morning. I will not be on Friday morning. I have to go to the hospital and spend the day there with them doing all sorts of god-awful things to my body, but I will be knocked out, so I won't feel it, but I have to have a bunch of procedures and tests run on Friday, so I will not be on Friday morning. And I'm probably going to be there most of the day, so it doesn't look like, I guess we'll just be having a teacher's work day or something for Susie Smart on Friday. I appreciate every one of you coming in and hanging out with me. I used to have a pretty good audience, but unfortunately, when you're not on all the time and you're sick and people, there's so many other good shows to watch that it may take me a while to build my crowd back up. I may never build my crowd back up. I don't know. I don't know what will happen. But I do know that I appreciate the ones of you who show up on a continual basis. I would so appreciate if you are not subscribed to my channel, please do so. And yeah, because like yesterday I had 771. Now I've only got 770. When you subscribe to a channel, go and watch a video, go and make a comment, because I don't care what some of these bigger, older channels say. Things have changed on YouTube, and if their algorithm does not see participation of any kind, they just take that subscription away from you. I have had, since August, close to 300 subscriptions that I had and then were removed. And they were legitimate people. One of them was a family member. He just doesn't, he's not the kind of person that comes on and posts. He just comes on and he lurks and watches my metal detecting and goes on about his day. So when you go to anybody's channel and subscribe, take that 1 minute and make a post on one of their videos, because otherwise the algorithm will, they'll steal it from you. I would have already been monetized, but I'm not, and I guess it's okay. So let me put my happy face back over here. Let's look at the bubbling pit for a second first. You can see it's bubbling around there, bubbling around there. And somebody said that it looked like beer, but I'm not drinking it. We'll just leave that in there for a while. And then we'll go back over here to my smiling face, whether you want to see it or not. Yay, there she is. There's the crazy old lady down in Virginia. Alrighty. So I'm gonna go. Nobody has posted anything for 15 minutes. So I think you're all asleep anyway. So I'll see y'all in the morning. I don't have a set time for it was the news thing, but I usually come on about 7:30 or 8 o'clock Eastern. And that is because when I wake up, I do my medicine regimen, and then when I get my coffee, I sit down here and just hang out for an hour with whoever else gets up that early in the morning. Dog's not satisfied, but it's cold outside and you've got no fur. Oh, poor Werner. Someday I'm going to get to come to Germany. It is on my bucket list. I would like to try to, at least before I go, be able to visit the countries that my ancestors are from. And that's a pretty limited list. My father's family, as far back as I can go, which, is a long way, is England, 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 England. I can't even find an Irishman that snuck in there. My mother's family, other than my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, his family was from Holland, but my maternal grandmother, for as far back as ever that I can find, are all German. So Germany is definitely one of my destination lists that I would truly like to visit. There are all sorts of strange mysteries about one of my German lines who are supposedly, and I say that because I can find no documentation, but they are supposedly related to the Brothers Grimm. So I would like to go just for that alone. Alrighty. Brett is done coughing. Werner is done freezing. Mud Swat is napping. And Mark Thomas is done being a chemist. So I think I'm going to go run to the store before they close. And y'all have a great night. Try to catch one of my morning shows. It's different than what I do on metal detecting night or coin collecting night. It's just a different thing. I know there's popular morning shows that just get on and they talk about who's pouring what and who got in a fight with who, and mine is more looking up the old facts about things that happened, like what a coin collector would be saving in 1877. And we found out the other day that the Indian on the Indian head penny, not an Indian at all. Nope, not an Indian at all. So anyway, I'm gonna go because I just keep rambling. And I will see some of you in the morning. Do not forget that anytime you see me online between now and April 12th, if I'm doing a live stream, I will be doing cats and dogs, which means I will be signing people up to have an opportunity to win the big prize package on April the 12th. So make sure you got your notifications set. You don't want to miss it because I'm adding some more things as we go along. And if we hit that 800 mark, there's going to be a second silver round go in that package. So I guess it's because I don't make videos where I go out and plug other channels. So I guess maybe that's why they don't make them for me. I have seen one or two done. Oh, the coin is still in the bath. I'll put the camera on it real quick. It's still in there. It's slowly coming around. Anyway, I just don't do those kind of videos because I don't really know how to do them very well. And the only one that I have ever seen anybody do for me, I think there's been a couple, but the last one I remember seeing was Muscle Shell did one, and people didn't even understand it was about my channel, and they thought it was about the new Garrett detectors. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not participating in the proper way, but I just do what the old lady does. Let's get over here and see the coin one more time. It is starting to get a little bit, it's not a coin. We don't know what it is, but it's not a coin. But it is starting to get, oops, a little bit of detail. So hopefully in a while we'll be able to tell what this thing is, because right now we have no clue. It's a round something with 2 bumps on the back. That's what it is. Let me see if I can put it over here under the scope. It's crunchy, but not as crunchy as it was. You can see that those 2 prong bumps are much more pronounced than they were. When I go to the store, I'm going to bring my metal brush back in. It's out in the car in my bag. And hopefully I can see some details of something on it, but I just don't know what. So my pool is not very strong. My stuff. Well, that's what I said. When I go out to my car, I have a wire brush that's in my my finds bag for my detecting. But I wanted to do this not just for this item. I have a couple other things that I have thrown in here. There was an unrecognizable coin that I can now tell is a 1996 Lincoln penny. It was just an experiment, something to do while doing the rest of the show. And hello, Hoover's Corgis and Coin. We're just getting ready to sign off, but we'll be back in the morning. And I'm going to leave my little experiment going for a while. And I have like pieces of what may or may not be pieces of jewelry or ornamental things off of furniture that are pretty much unrecognizable. So once I can figure out this little bath thing, I will be able to clean those up and use them as parts of my art projects. In some cases, I don't want them to be too clean. And I don't know if that makes any sense, but I want them to be just clean enough to know what they are, and rustic enough to use them in my art projects. So it's all a big experiment. All right, guys, it's 5 minutes to 8. I don't know who comes on at 8 o'clock on Wednesday night because I've been too sick to really watch too much. But I am trying to get caught back up. I appreciate everybody stopping by to see me. We've got close to 50 entries in our April 12th contest so far, and we still got some days left to go. So somebody's going to win some cool stuff. And you need to tell them if they want a chance to win it, they got to come watch my shows. Even if I bore them to tears, they have to come watch my show. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate every one of you. When you are in a health crisis like I am, where they don't even know what is wrong with you, and you spend a lot of time in your cage, so to speak, it's always great to come in and sit down and have some people to interact with. So we're going to interact some more in the morning, and I'll see you then. Everybody have a good night, or in Werner's case, a good day, since he's on the other side of the world. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye, everybody.